Guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today's topic, I just wanted to talk to you guys about this little thing called integrity. Now, I don't normally post this type of content on this particular channel, but I do feel like it's a necessity to talk about. So for me, I have a very small YouTube channel, the Ian West Network. I'm posting on that channel. And whenever I do a product, like for instance, the headset right here, the Narity, that's what's sent to me. Products get sent to me on a regular basis, and I try them out. And if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. I've never received a dollar for any product. I've never taken a payment for a product. Now, you can say picking up these products is considered payment. Some people may feel that way, but I don't allow that to compromise anything that I do. And on top of that, it's just me and my wife, and no one else works for us or anything like that. I like to keep things small. Obviously, if my business was to ever grow bigger, because I do make money from these types of videos, I don't mind doing that. But really, it was just a love and joy of tech in general, and that's how I became what I am right now, which is just pretty, again, a small YouTube channel. But I don't look at other people's successes and compare it to mine because that's how jealousy and things like that happen. Just work to the craft that you want to do. Also, I'm actually recording off of these J Labs, so if it sounds a little muffled or not like the usual audio, I'm actually not using my Yeti Orb or any other microphone. So today's topic, this is very important to talk about, integrity or a lack of it. Now, some ordinary gamers, I am subscribed to him on my other YouTube channel because that one deals with more drama and trash talking and things like that. This is the more professional channel. And he recently talked about the not buying a Nintendo Switch, saying that it's so overpriced and expensive, and all these things. He talks about Sony and unfair practices. So normally, when you look at a person like that, you're going to automatically think that they're for the consumer. But understand, he doesn't do a thing for the consumer outside of just talk and give his opinion. So I am going to give him a tad bit of grace to a certain extent, but also, all his credibility is basically shot if he talks about these topics moving forward. So let me just break this down. This is a Steam Deck. I got two of them. One cost me $325. The other one cost me $250. My original Steam Deck was 64 gigs, but I had sold that one a long time ago. Both of these were used when I purchased them. One from a pawn shop up Springfield. The other one was from a local store in my area that happens to sell little electronic stores that have the counters that sell cell phones and stuff. That one was for $250. And I gave it to my wife, the other one. This one actually has a silver back. You can't really see it in the video, but I'm sorry, a clear back. I sold my Nintendo Switch to my godson's mother because his was falling apart, and I gave it to her for an extremely small, low discount. I think it was like $100 for like all the accessories and everything that came with it. He needed it. Originally, I wanted to Switch 2. I was going to have a Switch 2 and have PC, have the best of both worlds. Nintendo's pricing is egregious. I'm going to be honest and say this. There is no Nintendo game that has ever existed that's worth $90. The resale value of games, because it's rare, it's one thing. But if we're just talking about the quality of Nintendo games, they have never been. Matter of fact, I'll say this. I don't know if you ever played Expedition 33. There has never been a Nintendo game, RPG, or anything that has ever reached that level of quality, whether it's craftsmanship, combat, or anything. It just does not exist. Granted, I like Zelda. I do like, well, some Zelda games. I do love Metroid games. That's my favorite. I love Fire Emblem games and things like that. But if we're just talking about the quality of overall game, you can look at Nintendo's history and see that they've never even reached that point in terms of development. I'm referring to like the development type. $90 for Mario Kart is obviously way too much. To be honest, that game should be $49.99. I don't think that any game should have went over $60. To be honest, $59.99 should have been the highest of any video game. No one's asking for the greatest graphics in the world. No one's asking for you to have a studio of 20 million people and then a budget of $8 billion to create a game. No one's asking for that. You, as people or corporations, are always looking for more money and trying the next thing. And when you keep building these unnecessary games, getting these voice actors and all these other people that you can barely afford on a game that you guys don't play and don't actually test proof, and then give it to the public and think they're going to like it, that's not how it works. Dragon Age of Velgard was born to fail. Concord was born to fail. When you look at certain games, these companies want to sell you a piece of junk, just absolute rubbish and garbage, for a premium price, and it's just wrong. I know I'm all over the place, but I'll get to my point in a second. Now, with that being said, one of the reasons why I don't pre-order games is because I don't trust the developer. Like when I first heard of Ender Lilies, I waited for that game to come out. Loved that game. And when they made Ender Magnolia, I bought it early on to support their development cycle. They could have up and ran and stole the money, and that's the chance that I was willing to take. But at least they proved with their previous game that they were capable of making something great. That's why I did what I did on Steam, which I was able to get it an early copy. That's how I support a developer. Madden makes the same game 50 times every single year, and it has little to no improvements. Once it reached like past PS1, PS2, PS3, that was the peak of what they could do. They started recycling some of the same assets. Sure, they make the graphics a little bit better, but you're basically buying the same game over and over again. WWE games don't feel the same anymore. Madden games don't feel the same anymore. Fighting games like UFC, none of these games feel like they're putting the love and tender care into it. And I say to those studios, let them burn and let them fall. We don't need them. We don't need EA anymore. We don't need BioWare anymore. We don't need Ubisoft anymore. There are other developers that are making games that are substantially better and more fun. So support the ones that you actually like rather than nostalgia. And this is what people like Mutahara and others normally preach, some ordinary gamers. Except he completely lied to his entire audience and went to a midnight launch of the Nintendo Switch and bought it. And again, he's a grown man, he could buy whatever he wants. I'm not here to say you can't. But the problem is, if your public perception is that I don't buy this because I feel like it's not worth the asking price, and then you have an apology video, which he does, which is up to 296,000 K views, it's probably going to cry. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's probably going to climb even higher than that in terms of the video. He claims he bought this because he wanted to see some. It was like the most juvenile, moronic reasons that a person can give. Like I don't like when someone tries to insult the intelligence of their audience by blatantly lying. Like he is mixing truths with lies in his content. For example, imagine if I bought something. Or in fact, let's use him. We don't need to imagine it. Let's use his video. He says he bought it because he wanted to see if the system would get bricked or some nonsense like that. And also because the key card on Cyberpunk is on the entire disc, so he wanted to play it and show people that it works day one. We don't need your assistance for that, sir, because there are actual real game reviewers that actually know how to review a game. They already showed us that. Matter of fact, CD Projekt Red already told us that the full game is on the card. They spent months actually optimizing the game for Nintendo Switch 2 users. So if the company said they did it, I don't need some random YouTuber to show me that. He's lying. You enjoy the system because you wanted it. You wanted a Nintendo Switch. You want to play it. You enjoy the games. Mario Kart and other games are on it. And 9 times out of 10, he's going to continue to buy games. He's just not going to make the mistake of letting the world know what he did, which is his business, by the way. But the thing is, when a person says something like this, you lose all your credibility. Like for me, again, I do tech videos. So if I say to you, let me give you an example. This was sent to me. This is an Anchor headset. This is the Liberty. What are they called? I forgot what they were called. Um, Aerial clips, right? When they first launched, they were 129. And to me, I was like, 129 for clips is asking for a lot. But when you compare it to Bose and other companies are asking for 299 and stuff like that, this isn't a bad sitting point. But at the same time, you can get a headset like, I don't know, the Liberty 4 Pros, and those are also 129. And guess what? They have more features than this by far, spatial audio and everything. So it's kind of a hard sell to a person that may not, that are looking at different brands or looking at the same brand and saying, why does this that has zero features compared to this cost the same amount? Then they upped the price to 149. I was like, y'all crazy. Then they upped it to 169.99. I can never suggest $170 for these because when you launch a product for a certain amount of money, now you're telling people to pay more for something and they're aware of the original price. Now this one was $99 originally, and they upped it to 129, the Aerial Fit 2s. The reason why these are still worth 130 is because they added a feature that actually does live translation. So you can translate while talking to people with different languages and things like that, and it'll show you the words in the actual application and stuff. So at least there's something added to this to make it worth the asking price. Though I would have still preferred it to be $99, but I would still suggest this as a product because there aren't many ear hook headphones that are as good as these and as comfortable. There's a reason for that, right? But to jump to 170 for these, that's asking for a lot. And I don't, and I would never steer my audience in a way where if they're actually listening to what I'm saying, they'll say, "Is it worth it?" I have to do more reviews on clips. I have to do more reviews on other buds and then compare them to these. And so far, these have been great. Don't get me wrong. The Aerial clips are really good headphones, but I do feel like by upping the price, you are taking advantage of your customer base. Guess what? I'm not paid by this company. They sent a product, they asked me to review it, and that's it. There's no contract. Well, there might be a contract that says, hey, don't show our products off before time or NDAs and stuff like that. That's understandable. That's standard, but I don't make a living off of them. I have other products that I review on a regular basis. Some do 10 views, some do 20,000, some do 5,000, some do 100. It all depends on what the audience wants to watch, and I appreciate everyone for that. But if one day I just decide to just up and out of nowhere, I don't like Apple products, and then you see my channel completely become an Apple channel, you're going to be like, what happened? Something's up. Why are you talking about this way? Why are you showing off all these things? I'll still review Apple products, but I'll never be an Apple advocate because I know that they're predatory and their products are overpriced based on what it is that they offer. It is what it is. So, at the end of the day, integrity does matter. Did this man lie? Absolutely. Did he sabotage himself? Sure. But he's still going to have a lot of viewers that follow him. And he did apologize for what he did and things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. So obviously, we have to look at his actions and his words, not just his words, and see what he does moving forward. Because we live in a land where people are willing to say anything for money. And unfortunately, this is the last guy I thought would do this. Of course, I don't follow his channel every video that he does, just a couple of them. I'm sure there's people that talk about controversies and things that happen on a regular basis, but be careful about who it is that you trust because you never know who's bought. You never know who has a brand and they're only saying things simply because someone is paying them to say that. This has happened. I've caught people doing this. I've conversated with other YouTubers that possibly wanted to collab. And when I saw just how, excuse me, they responded to certain things, I'm just like, I can't trust that. Because for me, I don't mind saying something negative about a company if they actually did the thing. There's no sugarcoating it for me, and I don't want to lie to my audience. So hopefully, anyone that follows me will continue to follow me and always know that. Sure, I can have some biased opinions based on certain products. Obviously, we all do. We prefer certain brands than others, but I'm not going to just down something else or say something's bad and then do a review of me showing it and I went to the store and paid regular price for it. Like it's completely hypocritical. But what I will say is I will get a Switch 2. Not right now. 2, 3, 4 years down the line, absolutely. I did the same thing with the PS5. I got the PS5 originally. They sold me a busted PS5 with the messed up fans fiasco. Remember when they first launched? I said, I'm not dealing with Sony till they fix the problem. Years went past, probably until last year, late 2024, I finally bought another PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, right? Brand new. Was it brand new? Yeah, I think it was brand new. I had like credit from GameStop. I traded in the Xbox One and I got the PS5 for like $30 more. Gave it to my wife. It was her system. She played Cyberpunk on it. She didn't play any other game. Oh, and I played Demon Souls on it. I had that game since it launched, and I was never able to play it. So I finally finished it, and I never bought a PlayStation game again. And I sold it because I was just like, that's it. I don't remember my login information. I could probably find it, but I'm at a point in my life where I'm not going to allow companies to keep lying to my face and doing things that is predatory and me keep supporting them. It just doesn't make any sense. She wanted a PS5. I got her a PS5. She played it for a couple months. Since she don't want it no more, sold it. That was the end of that story. And we have nothing else Sony inside this house. But I stick to PC. My Steam Deck, I might get an OLED. I'm trying to wait out to see if they're going to do a Steam Deck 2. Nothing but PCs over here. My wife got a PC. She's actually playing Cyberpunk right now on her PC. It's a lower end PC, so she needs a better video card. But nevertheless, she's playing her game, having fun, enjoying herself. And at the end of the day, like I said before, integrity does matter. So hopefully this doesn't affect them too much. It is what it is. Like and subscribe, like always, guys. That's pretty much the only time I'm going to talk about drama on this particular channel, unless something important happens. And I will see you in the next one. So I'm stuttering. Peace. Take care. Be safe. There we go. Peace.